What's going on, good people out there? It is the Bad Wolf, the main man, the man of mysteries, international man, the man in black, the man with the plan. What's going on, guys? I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Don't forget to hit that bell, like, subscribe in advance. So thank you for that. And as always, if you guys see anybody using any of my materials, make sure you use the report button for defamation of character, slander, and bullying. Thank you in advance. Thank you in advance. Now, what is this video about? Well, you already read the title, and yes, I know I said I wouldn't make any more videos on this. Pretty sure we have gotten through everything we need to with this. But there are still a couple of tricklers out there, still getting emails. Every time you guys give me an email and it keeps repeating itself, to make it easier and cheaper on you guys, I try to make a video out of them. This way you guys don't have to do a console, which I know would be, I guess, for some people out there who are money hungry, counterproductive because I'm doing things that literally make it so that I don't make as much money. Why? Because I'm more about the movement, getting the information out there than trying to hustle nickel and dime you guys for every single thing, like a lot of people out there, right? Because they watch my videos too. So this particular video is about the passport being 5 stars. So this will be the last video. I will give you guys everything that I know about it. Um, so let's get going. All right. So years ago when I first got started, there was a private person on the East Coast, wealthier person, who's seen my videos and wanted to give me their information. They are the first person that I mean, and that was back when I first started the channel too, that even told me about a 5 star passport. Otherwise, I didn't know. I didn't create the 5 star passport. The government did. Okay. They created the whole 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 star on there for their reasons. And in all honesty, um, the information that I was given back when you could talk to a live person, now you only get the runaround. They don't let you talk to directly to anybody in the system, probably because of videos like this. Okay. So as I've always told you guys, as we move, they move, as they move, we move. All right. So yeah, they don't really care so much about these videos. I mean, they watch them as well, but at the same time, if we show them where they are weak, then they will make it strong. Okay. And just like in the Blade movie, where I think his name is Lord Damaskinos, if I remember correctly, the elder vampire, basically he said, I tip my hat to my enemy for he shows me where I'm weak so that I can make myself strong. So, and in saying that, it's not so much that, let me say this correctly, America is there for you and America is within us, but the U.S. corporation tends to do their best to legally reposition information so that it's not as readily available. So they can't get rid of our rights, freedoms, and liberties, but they can try to make it appear as such. And if you don't know what you're looking for, what you're looking at, then yeah, they will do such things. So from the lady at the time who gave me the information, whether or not she was supposed to, I don't know, but she informed me that the stars on the passport are in fact considered national security. So for those people out there who don't understand what I just said, um, he couldn't give me any additional information because they're considered national security. That's it. All she could tell me is, oh, I looked at it and it just says on the tab here, this is what it is. So that means, dun, 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 for the people in the back of the class that the stars do mean something, but it's considered classified. And so they're not going to give them to you. I have heard rumors. I will say that I've seen documents, whether real or not, that do indicate that in fact that is true information. Now, does that mean that any of these documents are real that were passed around? We don't know. Okay, like I said, nobody will ever, uh, unless you're on the inside of the agency, in which case I don't even want to see any of anything that's real. because that is considered to be what? National security. I don't want no part of that. So the information that I did see, whether real or not real, we don't know. Like I said, there's lots of files on the internet. So I always tell you guys, you have to vet your information. I've even been sent some files that people are like, oh, it's good. And then they check it. And then a week later, they're like, oh, yeah, no, it wasn't. It was a deep fake or it was whatever else. So nobody will 100% know other than the fact that I am to God, the lady at the Department of State said that travel department, that when she looked at it, it says here national security. That's it. So that means whatever was contained behind that wall was above her pay grade. She couldn't see it, and even if she could, and hell, maybe she could see something, she just didn't want to tell me. That's all she said. So that's all I can say. So that's the truth of the matter, guys. All right. So the person on the East Coast who gave me that information, apparently they knew somebody who obviously knew that, or they themselves worked there. I don't know. I worked off of what they had, all the rest of their information, their 127-page explanatory statement, which did include the W8BN filled out correctly, and their own explanatory statement, um, and some other files. Um, they talked about that. Okay. So where they got that information, I don't know. That's the honest truth. So they put me on the game with that. And then since then, I did my own research and came up with the information that we've talked about here on this particular channel. So after watching thousands of other people's videos and hundreds of emails and posts on threads, we were able to deduce by the information provided by all these other people, kind of like what Chat GPT does now. You scour lots of things and then you come up with your own um, uh, 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 average of the information, your best guess. You kind of guesstimate from reading, okay, these all seem to be the same. This is about this is about that. Okay, boom, boom. So all we basically know is this. If the people who were commenting online over numerous years of being on the internet, the ones who had a 1 or a 2 star and they were asking about it in right where we've located it, were all people who had just become U.S. citizens, straight out, just pure U.S. citizens. And then 3 seems to have been people who were a mix of being a U.S. citizen and a state citizen or a national of the United States or non-citizen U.S. national, et cetera, et cetera. People who got the 4 and the 5 were the ones who usually sent in an explanatory statement, such as the guy on the East Coast, or else they use the 09 all code. And to those people out there who were like, the Wolf didn't discover that. He didn't. I've been using the explanatory statement with that code in there since like day 2. Okay. I didn't make videos on it right away because that was one of the selling points in the explanatory statement with the other information in there. So when it all started to come out, because people were buying my stuff and using the code, but see, we didn't put it in the passport application itself on the endorsement line because we didn't discover that at that point in time. So once all these things came together and a viewer out there was like, hey, I think this is what that means. And we did some research, but then we found, yeah, that would make sense. So there's your truth to all those naysayers out there. Um, is that, yeah, I was using it for years. And I won't mention the other YouTube channels that did a consult with me in the private and then use this information too. So it does appear that there's lots of people out there watching my videos and using my information and squirreling it back to their YouTube channels and TikToks and whatever else. Even some of the videos I've made, I hear my own voice in them when they didn't have my face on there. So at the end of the day, if you're going to do that, that's totally fine. As long as it's a positive thing and nothing in the negative. If it is negative, then I or somebody else will report you. But what's funny about people doing the negative is that it's actually been causing my numbers to go up. So you're trying to throw me under the bus with your people, but your people are watching me and adding, liking, and subscribing. Must mean I'm not that crazy. Although I'm kind of a madman in a box at times. You have to be mad to understand some of this in the first place. So yes, I have been using those things in the private, but if you bought my products, it's been in all of them. Okay. So if you didn't buy my product, you're just doing your own thing, then that's probably why you can easily sit back and say, oh, he didn't. Now, obviously, I didn't discover per se because it was already in the Foreign Affairs Manual, section 505.2. Okay. I've been using that since day one. All right. So it was in there. Hell, we copied the whole code from out of there, the whole passage in 09 all and the 08 all, and put it right in the explanatory statement, which we've been selling for years. Okay. So the 4 and 5, from our understanding of lots of information being compiled, is that those represent people who have successfully distanced themselves from being looked at as a U.S. citizen, but as a state citizen and a national per the 09 all code. We have heard that in doing the passport the way we do it naturally anyway, when you have a 3, 4, 5 star, that you are then on the do not detain list. Keep in mind, though, that when you do the passport itself, essentially you're putting yourself on the do not detain list because it's a different jurisdiction than the state level. It's not a state created ID, it's a federal level ID. So the combination of doing the passport, filling it out correctly, using the correct code, and optionally using the explanatory statement is not mandatory. I've said that since day one, which now that it's out there so many places, we do have a reduced cost for that on blacksite32.com. So it is looked at that there is an arrestability factor to it, whereas it has been alleged that the 1 and 2, you can completely be arrested. 3, 4, and 5. The 3, they have to have a probable cause. 4 and 5, you're not supposed to be. But understand this: none of this means that do not detain for those people out there who wanted to use it inappropriately already. As you found out when doing stupid stuff, doesn't mean you can't be arrested. It just means they're not supposed to stop you or in general arrest you. But if you're doing something dangerous or hazardous to yourself or dangerous to the public, anything like that, yeah. Because if you're thinking there's like some kind of like blue eyes, white dragon government ID that you can get that makes you like above top secret or super whatever, there probably is one, but there ain't one that anybody who's going to watch this is going to be able to get. Well, maybe 1 or 2 people out there who watch this can probably get it or probably already have it. Which if that's the case, put me on the list and send me one of those. Um, but in general, guys, they're never going to have any way for the average person to get any type of ID or anything like that for the average person. You're just not going to be able to do that. And the moment that would even be recognized out there in the real world, they're going to chop that literally that day. Okay. All the stuff that's considered like, national security or anything good like that, I am sure it is invite only and it is quadruple checked. You are not going to pay no $100 or $200 and get some ID, and then all of a sudden you're like God level. Stop. This is not going to happen, guys. It's never been that way. You got to always know somebody, all right, in order to even get anything remotely like that. And nowadays it is even harder. Okay. And this comes from other people that want to remain private. So yeah, I do get some information from people. I vet probably 98% of what I get. And yeah. So do you have to sweat and worry about trying to get a 5-star passport? No. Once you have gotten your passport, if you fill all the information correctly, unless you get a denial rejection letter, which we already have a video on that. So thank you for people watching that video and not contacting me. Still a couple stragglers out there. So don't sweat it if you don't get a 5-star. It is great to have one. So it's for hell. When I first started, I had 3 and it worked just fine. Okay. But does that mean that cops can't arrest you? No. It means that under normal circumstances, they shouldn't. But if they think that if you still have your name on your vehicle and whatever else, and it's not private or foreign trust held or something of that nature, they're just going to ticket and go after the all caps name that's still in their computer. So they may leave you alone and they still may go after your car or whatever else. But here's the thing behind that. Hopefully and I know there's, it's so funny. I even got an email today from a lady who was talking to a cop about this information, and she gave him my information to watch it on the show. I've had cops in my emails. I've had them do consultations. I've had them in seminars I've done. We don't have problems with cops. As a matter of fact, they're supposed to be on our side for the most part and impartial. They took an oath to the Constitution, and so the problem is that they don't understand constitutional law. All right. So, where's the book? I probably just put it away. So, to those guys out there who are officers of the law, I don't want to see you guys get into trouble, but I also will hold you to your oath of office. To this book, An Introduction to Constitutional Law. This supersedes state law. See, I've got notes. Why? Because this is backed by the Constitution, the Supreme Court, the District Court. This is what they uphold, not the state stuff you guys do. But even the state is supposed to fall back when it comes to constitutional law if challenged. Okay? So police are in fact correct when you don't have your vehicle in a private trust or foreign trust or private nation or whatever else, because the straw man, the ens legis, the legal person who has a name that looks strikingly like yours, except for the topography or what it looks like is different by use of the all capitalized lettering, which in Black Law's dictionary, no, yes, capitis dimitio maxima in Black Law's dictionary, or in the U.C.C book, which is also part of their jurisdiction, under definitions, UCC 1-201, letter H, I believe, under conspicuous format. They have created a non-living entity that is a member of their jural society. Ergo, you are the beneficiary and the holder in due course of that. Now, we know that sometimes they convert us over fraudulently or mistakenly as the trustee, and then they go after us in whatever matters we're dealing with as in being in breach of trust. Okay. All right. That's why you have to know who and what you are when you go into these courts and dealing with these scenarios. So for you to be on the side of the road arguing with a police officer that you're on the do not detain list, if he runs it, and all of them can run it because all of these IDs are compliant, they have to be. Okay. So don't listen to those liars out there in the first place. So if your vehicle is still underneath the straw man name still created by the state given to you that your vehicle is registered in, then yes, they can go after the vehicle. Now, legally, and lawfully, they are not supposed to go after you when you present that ID. But what a lot of them will do out there is they'll take the name off of the ID for the passport book or card, then try to run it into the computer, okay, and try to match you in the vehicle up, okay, and lock you in place with the zip code. The problem with that, officers, is that that is fraud. You cannot use an ID from a different jurisdiction and then try to match it up with yours. Because if the person is not bearing a ID for your jurisdiction, then they are considered foreign. And even if they make their own private IDs and they don't use U.S. on there, that's a private ID. It'd be considered a tribal ID, foreign, whatever else. Once again, you cannot use it, cannot do that. You can only go after that which is yours. They have to have a driver's license or a state ID. You cannot match it up like that. All right. So now getting back to the 5-star, what else is there? Okay, so can you still be arrested? Yes. Um, depending on what activity you're doing, first of all. Secondly, as long as it's nothing major, yeah, you're not supposed to be, and especially not with the 4 or 5. All right. But if the cop decides that, yeah, this is dangerous what you're doing or your behavior or whatever else, then yeah, they will do that and they'll just have to deal with the consequences later. And if it can't be justified, okay, then they're in trouble. They're in major trouble. All right. A lot. There's going to be a lot of money coming out of their pockets. But in which case could also, and I've seen this lead into them losing their homes, cars, children, bank accounts. Wives have left them because they got sued in it as well. Because you can't be attacked on your public and private side. Now, as always, guys, do not go after any of these people whatsoever, putting fake liens on them. I've been hearing about this. You will get smoked. You will draw all the smoke because that is fraud on your behalf. You don't have a judgment in your favor. You can't prove and articulate the damage that was done by that particular individual. And even if he did do it, there's a public side and private side. So you can't just go around doing fake things and using forms incorrectly. It'll get you in a lot of trouble. So don't do those things. Um, so what else can I tell you about the five? So we know that it's okay, so the book has the stars, but they are encoded in black light. Okay, so you have to get a black light from Amazon for I don't know, like $8 or something like that. And then you'll see a little strip. You can highlight it and see some of the security features on there because once again, it's a security thing. Okay. That's why certain people through like TSA or through the certain other things of that nature can look at it and they can tell who's who and what status or standing goes along with the IDs that are presented, when going through these certain checkpoints and places and in certain buildings. Now there are other security features, a lot of which you can read online. Some of them I'm sure are, not visible or not known because they don't want everybody knowing all of their stuff. So all the stuff I present here is all the stuff that you can find online. So once again, they can't be mad at me for that because if you don't want it there, then you better scrub the internet harder than you guys have already been scrubbing it. So remember, everything here is educational, entertainment, informational purposes only. So do your own research and vetting of your own information as you guys see best fit. So that's pretty much it. Get your passports. Some people who have not gotten the level that they want, which once again, 3, 4, and 5 are all good. 4 and 5 are considered the best, but 3 works as well as long as you stay out of trouble. Giving you guys all the basics on that. If you have information to update, then using the DS82, if you've already filled out the passport correctly, okay. And some people have seen an increase in the number of stars after doing an update. We have a theory that the 3, 4 star, if you update using the 09 all code, which we know about in the Foreign Affairs Manual, section 505.2, on the proper endorsement line, with that people have gone up 1 or 2 stars with that. Why? Don't know. It could be by what we call the red zone, meaning that when you have the passport and you haven't committed any crimes or anything stupid, and then you update it sometime later, that they go, okay, this person has been good with the information, so, or good with the ID, no problems. And you update and they go, okay, well, you've earned the next level. Just a theory. We have seen things like that happen, which is where the theory then comes from, trial and error from hundreds of people doing this over the last many number of years now. But can we be held to it? That's absolute? No. So it's kind of like playing chess, but they won't give you the rule book on it. So you get lucky with certain moves, and then certain other ones are not good at all. So always make sure that you guys get your information from a good source, vet it yourself as much as possible. But don't go out here throwing away tons of money just like, oh, I have to have it, I have to have it, I have to get this. Don't do that. Just get it, and if you need to update it, then update it. Okay. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. That is all I know. That is all the information that has ever come my way. through emails and word of mouth and trial and error and reading thousands and thousands of other things, including the Foreign Affairs Manual. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys found the information entertaining. Use it as you see fit. Make sure that you guys operate as a non-belligerent, non-combatant. Be in treaty with the United States and everybody else. You can send your treaty out to them, as I have done years and years ago. All right, you can send that to the Department of State. You can send it to the president. You can send it to anywhere, offering them a treaty. Tell them, hey, I'm neutral here. I'm not a belligerent or combatant, just trying to do some business. Send it to DC, whatever you guys want to do. All right. Put it out on your websites, make your declaration, and learn how to do business proper, learn how to handle yourself on the public and private side. That's all they want at the end of the day, right? And if somebody is abusing your rights, freedoms, or liberty, or your person, your living natural person on the private side, then file a lawsuit. Go after them in district court. All right. That's it. I will talk to you guys later. Let's see, anything else real quick? Dramatic drum roll, please. No, can't think of anything. So lastly, to all those people out there watching my video who are positive and who do seek light and do share information and are not trying to be doing the government's, we'll just say the shadow government's work, because most of the government is actually good. There are sections and people who do bad things, but that's with everything. You can't show me one church, fraternity, government, state, anything. Wherever there's people, there's bound to be some abuse and corruption. So to those people, I hope and pray that you guys get right with your creator, or that light is revealed onto those nefarious plans. To the good people out there, keep doing what you're doing. And to the groups out there, I'm finding out there's more and more groups of you guys out there who watch me. I make the videos. I don't go that deep into thoughts of people are actually sitting down making groups and whatever else. So it's been coming up more and more. So thank you to you guys out there who are in the groups, who watch and utilize my information, and other good people out there who do have really good information and are just trying to put it out there so you guys can have a little bit better of a life and experience when doing business in the public. So shot also goes out to the Moore Nation. I have been told that you guys are very well of who I am, so thank you. To the positive communications that were relayed to me from that, and all other various groups out there that watch it. And I'm sure there's some other groups out there who watch it as well who are like, oh, this guy or these guys. Well, act right. Act right. I know there are some people and groups out there that, remember, not everybody you deal with just because they're operating in the public are bad people, by no means. Okay. A lot of them are just regular 9-to-5ers. They don't know what's going on. What we're talking about here more so is really on the upper echelon of legal and who owns what jurisdiction, and therefore profit. So all we're trying to do is make sure that people get a fair shake when they're out there doing business. We're not here to tear down that business, but if you're not operating fair, then we're going to balance the playing field a little bit. And if your system is proven to be too corrupt, then we, the people, will do what's necessary to have your system overhauled, and that it will become right. Because we Americans don't play that. So we fellow Americans and patriots out here, we are America. All right. So go out there, my republic, do business, take care of yourselves, and stay out of trouble if at all possible. And don't forget to hit that bell and subscribe, share the videos you see necessary, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.